Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for joining me this evening for this live webinar on how to improve naturally gas and bloating, or we could say flatulence and abdominal distension. And this would include, kind of mild indigestion, abdominal discomfort, burping as well. Burping is like too much air, so you can realize this is kind of a air condition. Flatulence is excess air. The bloating, abdominal distension, often from excess air and fermentation in the colon. And then a burping, also another sign of excess air in the system. So it's very important to understand that these gas and bloating per se is a sign and a symptom, so to speak, of poor digestion. So the real serious issue here is not the gas and bloating. These are the symptoms, but in fact the poor digestion, because poor digestion leads to malabsorption. Malabsorption will lead to fatigue, and fatigue will and poor digestion of food will start to block the system, take away more energy in the body, reduce circulation, start clogging the lymphatic system, and lead to constipation, the accumulation of toxins in the body, and lead to other serious health ailments. So it's very important that we keep our digestion strong, and the signs of good digestion are good appetite, no gas, no bloating, no burping, no abdominal distension, of course no acidity, and of course no constipation. It's like a car. If a car's running down the road and there's smoke coming out the back, then we know the engine's not running good. And the poor combustion of this carburetor in the car that's creating all this smoke is making more soot and toxins inside the engine, which is only further clogging and congesting the engine. And of course it's using a lot of gas, and when there's poor running engine, so you're consuming a lot of gas and you don't have good performance. So this is often the same when people have poor digestion. They're sometimes eating a lot but still feeling very fatigued or heavy, bloated, or gassy after meals. So let's first talk about removing the causes of gas and bloating, because the main cause of gas and bloating is often in the person's eating habits and food combining. Once we improve our eating habits and follow the rules necessary for good, healthy digestion, and avoid the known food combining mistakes, then generally we can resolve our gas and bloating and thus improve our digestion. So the first poor habit we have, or poor eating habit we have, that's contributing to gas and bloating more than anything else, is probably snacking. Snacking on crackers, cookies, particularly nuts. I mean, of course, nuts are very healthy. We know they have omega-3s and some good fats in them, but people tend to overeat them and have them for snacks. They don't make good snacks. They may be helpful in your meals, maybe add a little bit more protein and fat to your breakfast cereal or your oatmeal, but snacking on them throughout the day only dampens and adversely affects your digestive system, and this will lead to gas and bloating. And it makes the digestive system kind of weak. We know when people can't eat full meals, they have to have little meals throughout the day, can't eat many foods, wheat's giving them problem, dairy's giving them problem, all these foods that they were eating in the past, they're not able to eat today. That's a sign of digestive problems. We tend to blame the food. Okay, it must be the wheat, they eliminate wheat. It must be the dairy, so they eliminate dairy. But this isn't fixing the problem. To address the actual cause and the problem, we need to address our eating habits, strengthen our digestion, and we can take just some simple carminative herbs and spices with and after meals to also improve our digestion. So let's avoid all snacking, particularly dry things. You should avoid dry foods, crackers, biscuits, chips, particularly if you're constipated. And cold foods, cold cereals, cold milk, cold juices, ice water. That would be a very quick way to ruin your digestion and have some gas and bloating, is have cold food or cold ice water before the meal or ice cream after the meal. This will contribute to this type of abdominal discomfort, bloating, gas, because the cold brings down the temperature of the body and the digestive system. Then the digestive system's not able to digest the food properly, and we feel the abdominal discomfort as a result. So, sipping warm foods, having warm teas after meals, and we'll cover some of these herbs and simple home remedies that you can do after meals. So, first we want to avoid all the snacking, except on fruit. You can have a little fruit between the meal because fruit doesn't really burden the digestive system. When you have nuts, they have fat, they have protein, and this takes bile and hydrochloric acid and other acids in the body to break the protein down, and fat to break it down. We need bile from the gallbladder. So it really is taking a lot of our digestive resources to be having nuts, and a fatty, heavy food as in between the meal. We need to have gaps between the meal. You should never have 5-6 meals a day. This is not a good idea. Just, some people, if they're overweight, 2 meals. Most people do fine on 3 meals. And there's some people that are underweight, they can do 3.5 or 4 meals, but no more than that, because the digestive system needs time to recover, needs the appetite to increase again with more stomach acids coming back out, and a bile to be produced so you can digest the next meal. So put breaks between your meals. Don't snack between the meals, except on maybe a little fruit, and only when you're hungry. And then next, let's try to improve our food combining. Of course, food combining is very old science. Hippocrates, the founder of modern medicine, spoke extensively about proper food combining. The Romans, the Greeks, and of course the Indians in Ayurveda spoke a lot about the importance of good food combining, so we didn't have digestive problems. And of course, when we have poor digestion, we know that we didn't absorb the nutrients, and this can create more fatigue, cravings, weight gain, and congestion in the body. So let's just say the worst food combining combination is the combination of say yogurt with fruit, or mixing milk and lemon. We know that this wouldn't be a healthy combination, and you would get bubbling action. If you get baking soda and you add vinegar to it, it bubbles, and you get that little fake volcano experience that we did in school. Well, same when you have strawberries in your cold milk cereal in the morning. So even just strawberries or sour fruit or juicy fruit with a grain like oatmeal or cereal, this will create fermentation in the GI tract and lead to burping, gas, abdominal bloating, etc. And even just having a bowl of fruit after meals will contribute to this problem. So the first rule in avoiding gas and bloating when it comes to food combining is don't have fruit with your meal. Unless you have a very strong digestion and you never get much gas and bloating, then you can get away with little dried fruits like chopped mangoes, little raisins, things like that are not sour, not too juicy, that you have with your food, like your breakfast cereal, for example. But if you're a very sensitive person, you're getting a lot of gas and bloating, then leave the fruit right out of the meal. Don't mix it all up together. And many people have come back to me and said, yes, it was the strawberries that I've been having every morning and my breakfast cereal that seemed to be creating the gas, bloating, abdominal distension for me the whole day, and it's been going on for years, and they weren't aware that it was just the fruit that they were adding to their meal. So take out the fruit. If you're going to have a little fruit after dinner, wait an hour after a meal till it's digested and you start to feel a little hungry again. Say a couple hours later, feel a little hungry, instead of snacking on those chips and crackers and biscuits and cookies, then just have a little fruit. And that's a perfect snack, not healthy during a meal. Also, avoid most smoothies. Most smoothies are poor food combining. We put strawberries and raw kale and coconut oil and flax oil and protein powder all together and blend it all up and drink it. And then, this kind of dampens and clogs our whole digestive system for the whole day in many cases. And the people aren't hungry all day and they think they're losing weight from that, when in fact they just kind of block their whole digestive system. And it's hard to say how much of these nutrients people are really able to absorb when you do such crazy food combining as that. Not to say you couldn't have some vegetable juice, carrots, beets, celery, ginger with a little lime. No problem. It's just in a juice. But when you start throwing in frozen vegetables, you're making it cold. You're breaking another food combining rule, and that's combining fruits and vegetables together. Another food combining rule you're breaking is by having a raw cabbage family, like raw kale is very gassy. Many people have come back to me after doing an appointment and said, yeah, the herbs help, the diet helped, but I think what was really causing my gas and bloating the whole day was the raw kale juice I was having every morning. So, we all know through past, by reading the ancient teachings, that, the cabbage family was generally cooked. Kale, broccoli, cauliflower, cabbage, Brussels sprouts. These are all the cabbage family, and they can be colon irritants. The ones that are the most gassy are probably cauliflower, cabbage, and Brussels sprouts. The ones that give people the least problem are probably broccoli. So, but in all cases, and kale, but all cases they should be well cooked, steamed in a soup. You often won't have a problem. Some people even have problem with cabbage when it's well cooked. So if it's bothering you, this is a sign that you're not capable of digesting it. It's not suitable for you. So leaving out the cabbage family, particularly raw cabbage family, cabbage, cauliflower, kale, broccoli, Brussels sprouts, this will help with a lot of digestive problems for many people. And once again, cold food leave out, crazy smoothies leave out, have breaks between your meals, only eat when you're hungry, don't mix fruit and vegetables together, fruit and grains together. Keep your food combining simple, just a few, 3 or 4 vegetables per vegetable dish. Don't be adding a lot of dairy to your actual meal, just a little bit. Don't have big bowls of fermented foods like sauerkraut or what else, or kimchi, or big bowls of yogurt. You should never have big bowls of yogurt. These are condiments, little sauerkraut, little yogurt after the meal for the probiotics or the proper bacteria. This is helpful, but by eating large bowls too much is a problem. In fact, I've seen a lot of cases of SIBO, small intestinal bacterial overgrowth, from people just taking too much probiotics. I had to tell them to stop taking the probiotics. In fact, I often ask them, how long have you had the SIBO or this yeast overgrowth? And then later on, I ask how long you've been taking the probiotics, and that's how I'm catching this problem. These people are taking a lot of probiotics, or they're drinking a lot of fermented drinks. These fermented drinks that are popular now are also creating too much bacteria, and people are getting abdominal distension from that. So these should just be in small amounts, not in large amounts. So those are the first rules, is to eliminate the cause, because the best treatment is always eliminate the cause. And the most causes for gas and bloating, abdominal distension, and burping and upset stomach is from poor food combining, too many foods mixed together, not having enough time between the meals, grazing and snacking all day instead of having meals. Those are the common reasons. But we can do quite a few things to help our digestion as well, because with my clients, I investigate what they're eating, improve their eating habits, adjust the food so that it's easier for them to digest, and then I give them some herbal supplements on top of that to help them. And the easiest one is just having ginger. Ginger tea after meals works very well for gas and bloating. To make it even a little better, mix it with a little cumin. And notice all these carminative herbs, they're all warm, heating, and have a nice flavor to them. And fennel, also very nice. Fennel is a little smoother, a little sweeter, good for children. When you leave an Indian restaurant, they put a little fennel there to help you with your gas and bloating and take away your appetite. Ajwain, also a very nice spice for gas and bloating. And coriander, the seed of cilantro. So we can mix all these together. We can make a little tea like this one here, digestive tea, And this is one without ginger. This is for somebody who may feel ginger's too hot, too heating. Maybe there's some acidity, but they still have gas and bloating because it just has coriander, cumin, and fennel. If a person's more cold and they need more ginger, then we give them this one. Peppermint also, it rounds it out, but basically it's peppermint, cumin, licorice, ginger, fennel, coriander, and ajwain. It's very nice, and a little cinnamon in there. So that's going to help right away with the digestion. But you at home can just use cumin and ginger. It's fine, cumin, ginger tea. You can just sip it during the meal and then drink a little bit more after meal. Not a lot, just a little bit. Just sipping it hot during the meal will help a lot with digestion. And you can adjust between the herbs, cumin, coriander, ginger, fennel, to the way that you like it. Some people, I use a lot of fennel if they're hot and they have a little acidity but still getting gas and bloating. Then I leave out the ginger and put in more fennel. If they're very cold and their circulation's poor and their appetite's poor, I use in more ginger, more hot foods. Now, of course, Ayurveda, there's an herb called hing, which is in a lot of spices, and all Indian restaurants are using it. And then there's a famous Ayurvedic formula for gas and bloating called hing vastika. And we just rename it here, called Vata Post-Digestive. And it's got the hing in there. It's got pepper, ginger, chikrat, which is another digestive aid in Ayurveda. And it's all mixed together, and salt. And it's feeling very nice. And I take it myself if I'm getting any gas and bloating, and it clears it away immediately. And usually I just get that from bad food combining myself. And here's another traditional Indian formula made of salt, because salt helps with mild it's a mild laxative, so it helps with mild constipation. This one says for hemorrhoids, constipation, abdominal pain, indigestion. And rock salt is the first ingredient. Then coriander, pipali, some other herbs there, ginger, cardamom, and cinnamon. So similar herbs, but a lot of salt in this one. Very good for a person who's thin, underweight. We wouldn't want to have that much straight salt if you had high blood pressure, or if you're a pitta person with acidity, or a kapha person with a lot of swelling. It'd be counterindicated, that much salt. But very nice, just a quarter teaspoon, half teaspoon, a little warm water right after meals. Gas and bloating is gone. Best would be to be cooking with spices. Traditionally the Europeans valued spices. They imported them, of course, from India. The Indians basically sold them to the Arabs. The Arabs took them across the desert, doubled the price, and sold them into the Mediterranean countries out of Lebanon. And they were distributed all through Europe for hundreds of years until, of course, the spice trade, till the Portuguese came and tried to circumvent the Arab traders and go directly to India and go to the source of spice, because they knew that these spices were helping them with their digestion and helping them to avoid gas and bloating, and ultimately helping them with other health conditions. But you can make these on your own at home. I have one here called Vata seasoning, and you can see again coriander, cumin, fennel, ginger, cinnamon, ajwain, asafetida, which is another name for hing, and salt. All those herbs are going to help with gas and bloating and digestion. And that's why it's so important to cook with some spices. You don't have to use Indian spices. You could use black pepper, basil, rosemary, thyme, marjoram. All these are still considered carminative herbs that are going to help you improve your digestion and feel better after the meals, absorb more nutrients, and basically have more energy. So it's very important to cook with spices. Maybe have a little ginger tea after the meal. These will all help you. Now we have other forms of digestive aids. Here's one called digestive tonic, and it's in liquid form. It's a little easier to take. Good for children. Good for elderly people. It's made with a little honey, so it's a little sweet. But you see some of the same herbs. Ginger, cumin, black pepper, and chikrat. Chikrat is a post-digestive aid in Ayurveda that helps with all digestive problems, including gas and bloating. So that's my advice for you. Simplify your foods. Don't snack, except on some fruit when you're hungry. Don't have a lot of different foods in one meal. Definitely don't have fruit with your meal. Don't mix fruit and vegetables together at all. Don't have crazy smoothies. And, have a little ginger tea after the meal. Cook more with spices. and you'll find that your digestion improves greatly. So I hope that helped you out. I hope I improved your digestion, and I look forward to assisting you if you need any more help with your health. Thank you very much. Greetings from beautiful Southern California. I sincerely hope you learned from this video and benefited from all the information. This knowledge is not my knowledge, nor is this information new, but part of the ancient healthcare system called Ayurveda, the science of life. I hope my videos explaining the Ayurvedic approach in a simple and clear manner helped you to overcome your health issues. However, if you have a complex or serious health condition, I highly recommend that you contact me personally so I can meet with you here in my clinic in Ojai, California, or in an online conference call so I can properly diagnose your condition and provide you with an individualized diet and custom herbal formulas. Then I will follow up and continue to support you until you have recovered. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel below and visit my website for more information, appointment fees, upcoming events, and my schedule where you can book an appointment directly online. Thank you once again, and I wish you the best of health and happiness.